honest with you, I hated that. Obvious question here is, what can I possibly do to resist acid attacks? Because as far as I know, there really isn't anything. Backseat tank's running low. The regular tank's fine. Well, let's get this patched up. Two. Oh, and these 3 and 4. Submitter isn't in too bad shape. And my battery isn't in too bad shape either. What's this say? It's still not an international exit if we don't tell anyone. There are a lot of Canadians in the world. Now, who's going to miss 16? Okay, well, I'm going to transfer my loot out of my transfer trunk. Now that I've got the chance to transfer my loot. What a lot of loot it is. I did have a wood decal. I gotta keep better track of these things. Put this back in here. Now, how can I deck myself out? Well, apparently I can't. Even this large backpack requires a lot of swamp coral, like a lot of it. Well, things tend to stack to 20 at the most. How long is it going to take me to get 10 whole stacks of swamp coral? Bother with a spare tire. Maybe my trunk was a little full. So I'm going to store in a fax machine. Theory is number 3. A thing of paint. Pick up here. Well, I have a lawyer bobblehead. So that's what that was. All right. What else? I can exchange Batu for the crystal. Those are pretty cool. And I have a tool shifter. And a pirate ship for a hood ornament. And a dolphin to go on my antenna instead of the spotlight. Everything's changed, hasn't it? Well, let's see, what can I unlock here? I got 2.6 units of unstable energy. And a quirk to diagnose. That is a lot. There's armored stuff. I'm gonna make an armored door. And an armored panel. Sorry, I forgot to hit 2. And an armored bumper. I don't know, maybe all this is reacting to that ill-fated trick by token to that one zone, but oh, I'm sure you can explain. I'm sure it'll make sense. Leak-resistant battery. I got that because I scanned a spike log. Roof floodlights. Yeah, those would be so much more practical than... They'd be so much more practical than side floodlights, because side floodlights only illuminate one side. Oh, and we're back to that expanded locker again. Well, it's just something I can add on. Well, I suppose. Alright. I was pretty hard up the plasma last time. Not so much anymore, though. I have 11 units of it. What's all this armored stuff take? Thermosap crystals. And steel sheets. But you know, I do have thermosap crystals. I'm gonna make a spare plasma scrapper. Put it here. Yes, that means I'm saying a fond farewell to my traditional scrapper after all. Let's talk, leak-resistant battery. It's 30. The other one's 30, but it's lead acid. I was gonna make one of those, but I didn't have enough lead at the time. Alright. Guess I had to replace the battery then. Where do I install this? Guess I actually go anywhere? Wait. Not so sure I understand how this works here. I can't remove it though. I was hoping I'd be able to. Would it go in here, maybe? Yeah, it does go in there. Alright. It works just the same as a fuel tank. Well, or should I say the spare fuel tank. Okay, glad I got that out of the way. Now, where is the roof floodlights? I need swamp coral for it. Where would I get the swamp coral from? I have no idea. Oh, wait. I have a quirk to diagnose, and I think I can diagnose it. You see, when the wipers go right, the headlights dim, I think. Okay, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Maybe it's going left. Yep, that was it. Done. It's so refreshing to find a quirk like immediately, like you know for a fact what it is as soon as you see it. That bumper is... oh, it's not too bad. Alright, let's find out what we've learned from all this. Theories. Part 3 in a 7-part series. The real reason they won't let us into the zone is not because they don't want us discovering what's really there, it's because they've been tunneling. They're using this technology to create shortcuts all around the planet, so you can go into a tunnel in Washington and come out in China or Egypt, or maybe a mall or something. And Anna will control all these tunnels and use them to regulate trade and tell us where we can or can't go. Anyway, they've already built the first tunnel, and you know where it goes, Idaho. Because they're coming after me for tax evasion. I owe $54. Signed, CC. Well, Futurama isn't going to come out until next year, but still silly, you know what I mean? Then again, there are theories in real life that are even nuttier than that, so, and people actually believe them. Evergreen paint. I forget how many shopping days there are till Christmas. We've got stuff that's full of holes, like Swiss cheese. Stuff that's disabled. Dense acid. Yeah, learned that the hard way. Spike log. Teletype autoscript. RR reference Carol V. I think I know how this works. 2:18 p.m. October 10th, 1964. If I had to guess. Sir, staff car stuck on a bush, sir. No, sir, this is a different bush. Yes, it's another bush again, but this one is a razor-sharp bush. Car is maybe a little cut up and we can't move it or we risk making it worse, sir. Where? Grid reference is 10 TDT 420525. Oh, we're on the car. Everywhere, sir. All the underside, the wheels, the axle. Actually, no, sir. It hasn't got hot tier fine leather upholstery now that you ask. And the burp bunny. Memo FAO Dr. Patel, June 28th, 1965. We were right. The compound is organic. I'll transmit a full analysis shortly, but in the meantime, the acidic effects come from a solution that appears to be primarily a mix of formic and hydrochloric acid, while the gelatinous qualities come from a fatty substance that seems to include something very similar to palmitic acid. The mix is precisely balanced. Exactly how it is synthesized is a mystery. The closest comparison I can make right now is to insects that also create organic acids, though we both know that's a stretch. Are we sure these things aren't alive? I'm sure not. And we've got the sap compressor. Partial memo, source unknown, circa 1965. I think at last that we may have perfected the crystalline form of this strange new carbon sap. With Dr. Turner's focused electrostimulative limb induction, we can essentially grow crystals almost as casually as if we were doing a high school homework assignment. Yeah, that used to be a thing. Perhaps I'm exaggerating it a little here. We still need to set up the inductors on location, and they must be carefully monitored to avoid overgrowth, as we are not even close to observing consistent development. Still, the resource costs are low, and the rewards are plain. We can begin to compress and shape sap before then collect and use the resulting crystals in far greater quantities than ever. And the application of this, they can be extraordinary. And Twisted Ember, Dr. A.F. Kingi's private field notes, unknown date. Typically, carbon only exhibits liquid properties at high temperatures and pressures, generally over 4,500 Kelvin and 100 atmospheres. A week ago, if you'd asked me about the conditions in which I expected to exist, I would have presented these figures. But after what seemed to be a combination of mass hallucinations, seismic events, and radiation bursts, more and more of the zone is behaving differently. The environment, the weather, even substances and elements themselves seem altered, as if mutated. In the woods west of our facility, what appears to be some form of liquid carbon flows like sap through many of the torched or petrified trees. Certainly it is hot, but not so that it can't be collected and handled. Initial analysis showed that it still behaves and reacts like carbon, but in this new form it is lighter, less dense, and yet also burns more efficiently. We have collected several liters for further study. And finally, let's talk about trips 9 and 10 together. We got 2 logbooks, that's interesting. We have a quirk that was triggered 232 times, not sure what that is, guessing steering wheel. And everything came from acid. Then there's this, the successful version. Again, lots of acid damage. But that was only because the closest I could come to the gateway was right in the face of one of those rotten egg launching whatchamacallits. I do a lot of personal damage, even some acid damage. And I still have a quirk which I'm guessing is related to the steering wheel, given how many times it's triggered. I suppose diagnosing that's going to be a story for another day. What do we got on the fax machine this time? Yes, you're right. This wall exists to stop people from getting in, but by God, it also stops these. I hope it also stops these things from getting out. Okay, well, I've done pretty much everything I can here except plan a trip. So let's see. What do we got over here? Well, a couple things seem to have cleared up. I mean, naturally, everywhere I've been is a no-go zone, but how do we go here? It's only 2 kilolimbs, and I get to go to 2 highways too. I think the only potential problem is that the water, I think, is like extremely acidic. But that wasn't such a bad problem as I made it out to be. Huh. That one icon looks kind of familiar. Wait. Yeah, corrosive waterways. Well, it's dark and rainy out. Heck of a condition to go driving in, but in all honesty, I imagine snow is worse, because not everybody knows how to drive in it. go. Let's go to G1.